Hitler died in the bunker on April 30th, 1945.
Could Adolf Hitler have gotten out of Berlin, and how did he do it?
How did he enter Argentina?
We're going to look at who could facilitate hiding Hitler.
We need to take this out of the realm of hearsay and see what sort of technology we can bring. There are thousands of leads.
It could completely change history.
Hunting Hitler.
What is going on, guys? This is our new Sunday show. We are missing a couple of people because obviously it's early on a Sunday for some. But we are going to be doing, for history purposes, reviewing the show Hunting Hitler. It's going to be an episodic thing, much like Game of Thrones. And I want to say welcome to everybody who's watching right now. So appreciate you guys being here.
Definitely.
And
that
also, cool. Big shout out to Mr. Clifton.
Thanks
for being here, dude.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but maybe next time we have to give the other guys a bit more heads up.
Yeah, it was kind of I think we talked about it like Thursday night or something, and then all of a sudden, like yesterday, I was like, "Hey, so we still want to do this?" And everybody's like, yeah, I guess." Like, well, Cluu was new. We talked about it on Friday. We heard about it. But anyway, what's up there? What's up there, Kathleen? Appreciate you being here. And shout out to anybody who's watching on Rumble or any other platform. We're also simulcasting this to my Legion Games. Legion Talk channel for anybody who just so we can kind of draw people over eventually to the History Channel. But without any further delay, let's get to it, man. This is why we're here. So let's go.
Yeah.
Heute Nachmittag eine Befehlsstadt in der Reichskanzlei mit zum letzten Atem.
The German radio has just announced that Hitler is dead.
Uh-oh. Hold on. That's probably better.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it. Every time. And also, what's up, Kenzo? Thank you for that.
Hey, Kenzo, yeah.
Yeah, it's better. Gosh, I gotta start checking that more religiously. I didn't have any issues until recently when StreamYards did an update to where you can now stream to Rumble and stuff. And now every single time I set up something new, it kicks me off this mic to the camera mic, which I don't know why cameras have phones. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, let's get back to it.
I repeat that Hitler is dead.
May 8th, 1947. Director FBI J. Edgar Hoover. The American Army officials in Germany have not located Hitler's body, nor is there any reliable source who will say definitely that Hitler is dead. 2 years after the end of the war. This should have been settled history. But you get into these FBI files and you'll see right away they had an active investigation looking for this guy.
That's nuts, by the way.
It is, but then if you think about it, it was the Russians who went in to the bunker, and Russians were freaking scared of their leader. So, I mean,
yeah,
imagine if they displaced the body, or or they found out it really wasn't Hitler, and do you think they would tell him that? Oh
no,
yeah, we lost him.
Yeah, and too, I mean, they were ruthless when they went in, and they talk about it in this episode that they were in kind of like full loot mode. They were just destroying everything. Speaking of destroying everything, what's up, Cluu? Welcome, buddy.
Hey, Cluu.
How you doing, man? You big crazy man. You're good, dude. You're good. Again, this was kind of you were brought in very last minute, so and that's on me. That's not anybody else's fault but mine. We plan to do this every Sunday. Maybe time permitting, we might shift the time. I don't know, 15, 30 minutes if something works better for everybody else. Can't shift it too much because I have Star Trek Engage and it, about 3 hours after this, but I don't think it'll take 3 hours to review an episode. So anyway, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. So what did you think of this first episode? I don't know if you watched more, but it's kind of wild.
I watched the first one, I did not know that there are still bunkers like right now.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
as an individual who lives in Germany, I lived in Germany as well. I was stationed there for 3 years. There are remnants of the Third Reich everywhere still to
Oh
this
yeah,
day.
definitely.
Um,
And you can go and see a lot of the bunkers, but not all of them. But yeah,
yeah.
just outside of town, I have one.
I do
We
like that lawnmower machine that they had.
ground
That I
penetrating
like.
radar. Yeah.
They had bombs, everything, shelters all around where I'm at. So
They had them all through conquered countries too. They hid stuff. Like, people have found random bunkers in like France and
yeah,
stuff like that that they constructed that were long forgotten. And it's again, it's kind of a sensitive subject, as you'll see going through these episodes, all of them, all 3 seasons. It's a sensitive subject with people. They get kind of grumpy.
Case is a mess.
Thank you, Obama, for that one. Actually do appreciate that.
yeah.
Obama did something good, but this isn't a political
If you
channel.
look at the FBI files, it throws open the investigation.
Bob Baer is a CIA veteran with over 21 years of experience. One of the most respected intelligence minds in the world, he's dedicated his career to cracking some of the greatest enigmas and has tracked down fugitives like Saddam Hussein.
Most people know me from the movie Syriana. The role George Clooney played was based on my life. You walk into the CIA and there's a quote, "Know the truth, and it will set you free." My boss has always said, "You're the only one in this building who believes that." Narrative the government gives us is a lie. You can't tell people the truth because it scares them. And if they get scared, they can't sleep at night. And if they can't sleep at night, they get up in the morning and they vote you out of office. All the stories
Damn right they
told
do.
about Hitler's bunker, there's nothing to back it up. It's the biggest mystery of the 20th century.
On the 30th of April 1945, with Soviet troops closing in on Berlin, Hitler and his wife, Eva Braun, were reported to have committed suicide in his bunker. On the 2nd of May, Soviet troops searched Hitler's bunker, contaminating the crime scene and shipping his supposed remains to Moscow.
The Russians were into full looting mode. They completely botched the investigation. We have no primary witnesses. We have no forensics.
On the 17th of July 1945, at the Potsdam Conference, Stalin reportedly told other world leaders that he believed Hitler may have escaped.
These
Yeah. That's kind of a no nonsense kind of guy. I got to be honest. And as Clifton was saying, his soldiers were I mean, they feared him.
Yeah.
Legitimately feared him. And so it's kind of a massive revelation.
I mean, if you just think about it, before that these documents were released, there was everyone was already like, could it be? Did he get away? There were rumors out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more of a conspiracy theory. Getting these documents released when the U.S. government doesn't know? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about conspiracy anymore.
Well, yeah, especially because conspiracy theory was made up by the CIA after, and I believe in the 50s. So, and that is actually well documented. Just in case anybody wants to, like I said, we're going to be doing this probably first couple episodes, maybe first 3, I'll kind of simulcast Allegiant Talk. But after that, if you'll have to subscribe to Legion Teaches History, but we're going to be doing this episodically. And I believe there's like 12 episodes per season. There's like 3 seasons. So it's a lot of content. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Especially if you've never seen this. There's a lot of people I know who have not seen this. I had a guy I used to work with at the post office. He loves this kind of stuff and he had never seen it. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah, dude, you got to watch it. So, yeah. Anyway,
what time does it come? What time does it air? What day?
It actually doesn't air anymore. So you can actually, that link I sent you out to Deep Waters, is you can watch all the episodes for all 3 seasons. I think it ended in 2018.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, something like 2019, somewhere in there. It was before the coof. So
These are very serious men who are very careful about what they say.
In 2009, a team of American scientists were given access to the remains the Soviets claimed were Hitler's. But DNA analysis revealed they actually belonged to a female.
The forensics we do have make it look as if Hitler got away. So if you've got money and you know what you're doing, you can disappear.
I guess in today's
In
world,
19
right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look at people in today's world. Look at what money gets them.
Yeah.
You know. So, and this, I mean, there's an event that's going on literally right now. That of a list of people who went to a certain island. That's going to be done in historical fashion. That'll be in the history books about how gross that was, and it's
About-
still.
But do you really expect anything to happen? I don't.
Well, exactly, because when you have that much money, and the Third Reich was insanely wealthy. I mean, they loot and pillaged, and they took anything and everything they could to fund the war machine.
They're still looking for Yahtzee gold and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what-
Mr. Go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say, and what's Zuck planning to do? He built his bunker. Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, I'm dude, there
are a lot of bunkers out there.
There's a lot of people that you know, and on top of that, on top of the fact too that seems like the world is on the verge of World War III. Guess it's kind of ironic that we're reviewing a show that takes place about events from World War II. Anyway, that's a whole other tangent, right?
45, people wanted the war over, and nobody wanted to dig into what actually happened to Hitler.
In 2014, the FBI declassified the files regarding Hitler's death and opened the door to what could be the biggest cover-up in history.
In these files, there are thousands of leads. This is report after report after report.
Armed with 700 pages of newly declassified documents and the most cutting-edge technology, Bob put together a team of some of the most respected experts in the world. International investigators, Nazi hunters, forensic scientists, investigative journalists, military intelligence, and premier war crimes investigator, Dr. John Sensich.
I was appointed by the United Nations to work the world's most heinous crimes involving some of the world's worst criminals. The truth is going to come forward from my perspective. It's going to be objective, and that's what I want to do.
We are not going to make our conclusions in advance. If you can provide me the evidence he died in that bunker, I'll be as happy as if he got away. I just want to do the definitive investigation on Hitler and for once and all, settle this damn thing.
So it kind of played a little intro there, and then of course, all right. So we're gonna skip forward just slightly.
But look, they made a program for this. Imagine what they could do if they had the technology from today, the AI.
Oh yeah,
through all that, making pinpoints on a
yeah.
map.
It almost is. So yeah, basically it was a search algorithm, right? That hunted down, and you'll see. Excuse me. If we could use the technology of AI, to this day, I mean, if they made another series kind of like this, where they went through more stuff, but I mean, the show had a definitive conclusion, and we'll get there. But yeah, no, this kind of stuff really fascinates me, and one reason I wanted to do this is because these people literally almost conquered the world, and that's not a joke. It's not a joke. And as we go through these episodes, you actually shows you how close they really came to actually winning. So it gets even crazier as the seasons go on.
The government's letting them do this show.
Oh, it's done back in like 2015. So
yeah. But if you think about it, growing up as a kid, you were told the Germans never made it to the United States. That they were pretty damn close. There were sky fights over Los Angeles and New York.
You'll actually find out in this show that that U-boats actually did make it to our shores.
Yeah.
And German spies actually did make it into the United States. They did infiltrate.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I mean, in this show, we're going to find out, of course, that South America was full of Yahtzees, but the United States had German communities as well, and they were celebrating the party line even before the war. So yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah, no, this it is. It is. Oh gosh, darn.
Do we have that other photograph? The one that the Soviets took?
Using the declassified documents containing thousands of potential new clues, Bob utilizes a powerful military tool to identify a starting point for his investigation. This software will scan the documents for recorded sightings of Hitler after reports of his death, to see if there are consistencies of activity on a map.
It's a needle in a haystack, but it's a lot smaller haystack when you got software like this. I'm going to set it for all locations where he was sighted between April 25th, 1945 and July 25th, 1945, the first 100 days. And those are the most important days. I know from experience tracking terrorists, those first 100 days were the times he was on the move. That's when he was most exposed. That's when you're going to have witnesses to his flight. Look at Berlin. Look at Spain.
Now, Spain's interesting.
Yeah, but look at Argentina. I mean, it's just exploding. If you look at that pattern, it's clearly Argentina where we have to start. Problem is, Argentina's a big country. We need
like the amount of dots in Argentina were just drastically much bigger than the rest of Europe combined. Like not even close.
Yep.
And that's what's nuts. And there've been a lot of rumors for a long time that that I don't think anybody gave him any credence. And I don't think the history books to this day reflect the fact that that talk about the fact that he might have escaped. But
yeah,
I'm hearing that for the first
more
time
specific.
now.
Hundreds of FBI documents place Hitler in Argentina.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is long been something that and obviously this show took place before before there was a lot of kind of crackdown on so-called what you know conspiracy theories. Again, history always kind of gives us a glimpse of the future, and you know, now if you spout what's considered a conspiracy theory, you're a bad person. But
even that, I mean, just history in general. Like 15 years ago, when I was still in school, we learned that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And like, okay, can we update the books at some point? Like maybe learn what's actually come out?
Yeah, it's
But you don't
it's
get
long.
it.
No, you don't, and it's been shown that that the Vikings actually now if you want to say that Christopher Columbus he didn't discover the new world. It shows a lot of evidence that the Vikings were probably one of the first ones to cross that bridge.
I would say he rediscovered it for the Europeans that didn't remember or something.
Maybe he, or you could say that he discovered it for the Western world, right? And kind of made what we know as the Western world today. Because the Vikings didn't really do much with it. They just visited and they traded back and forth. And if you watch another history show, The Curse of Oak Island, there's a lot of evidence from that show. Now I know obviously they're searching for some things, but there's a lot of evidence that the Vikings made it over. So,
but if that's in history books, if you can't update that in schools, you're never going to get something like this in a history book.
Well, yeah, and it's unfortunately academics are very rigid in their thoughts. And so that's one reason that, like I said, I wanted to do this show because not a lot of people have probably ever even heard of it. So, yeah, it's.
Tina. But they need to find consistencies if they're going to give the sightings any credibility.
A letter to Mr. J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, that really piques my interest. Here it says he's living in a great underground establishment.
Look at this. Look at this. Here's a second FBI document, different sourcing. Look at this. It's August 11th, 1945. Hitler is in Argentina. He is living in a great underground establishment with hundreds of Nazis, 675 miles west of Florianopolis, 450 miles northwest from Buenos Aires. If it's one report, yeah, so what? But when you got two, it's something.
Bob cross-references the two coordinates mentioned in the FBI files, and the computer identifies a GPS location in the middle of rural Argentina.
The closest community is Chirata. John, what do we know about Chirata?
It's in the middle of nowhere. And look at this. The language is spoken English, Spanish, and German.
It's a long way from home. You have to see if, in fact, there was a German community out there.
Long way from Germany to be speaking German.
This FBI report. If we get out there and it's just a bunch of Argentine farmers who don't even know where Germany is, never heard of it, then we got a problem. The first phase of this investigation is to pressure test the FBI files. Only once do you get on the ground can you actually start to corroborate information. There's usually some piece of it that's true and other pieces that are not. It's now time to put boots on the ground.
Chirata's our place.
Bob has assembled a team of international experts in Argentina to tackle the first part of the investigation.
Tim Kennedy, Special Forces, spent a career in the military tracking high-value targets, Iraq, Afghanistan, cartels. He knows what he's doing.
I have hunted high-value
Yeah, he's legit badass.
Bin Laden
Seriously.
For 15 years. There's nobody on the planet that could do this better. I have access to new technology that is enabling us to look at something that's 70 years old and breathe new life into it.
Gerard Williams, investigative reporter, great reputation, BBC, Reuters, dedicated a decade to studying Nazis in South America. He's the kind of guy I need to sift the evidence to tell me whether we're on firm ground or not.
I was in Argentina on a story, and I came across this idea that Adolf Hitler had escaped to Argentina on a submarine. About a year into it, I realized there was so much about the official history that was just plain wrong. My father was a combat veteran. 6 years he fought the Nazis. He was wounded 3 times. That generation was lied to. This story needs telling.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and two, on top of that, like if the world had really thought he was dead, and then it come to find out, then all of a sudden the officials would have said, well, no, he may have escaped. The world would have lost its mind.
Yep.
It would have lost its mind. Like, people would have been furious. Like, we just, I mean, until World War II, obviously World War I killed a massive amount of people, but compared to II, there's no comparison. I think some 21 million Russian soldiers alone died, something like that, or Soviet soldiers died. I think 21 million, something like that.
Yeah,
is astronomical.
Crazy amount. Yeah, crazy amount.
Yeah, it was
in the beginning. They said that. Well, I don't know if they were talking about the United States, but a certain country needed Hitler to be dead in 45.
Mm.
They needed him. They need to. That's why the lie was put out there, because the people needed him to be dead in 45, and to find out that he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically talked about that it literally in the beginning of this, like the little kind of like 5-minute intro, they did kind of introduce and everything that, yeah. It's crazy.
Finally, Steve Rombaum, Nazi hunter, he's tracked more than 170 of these guys in remote, tight-knit communities all around the world.
If you are a war criminal, this is your last chance.
It won't be the first time or the 500th time that I've gone into a hostile environment to get these guys. I'm not intimidated. They're a lot more afraid of me than I was of them.
Once in Churata, the team concentrate on tracking down individuals that could have provided a support network for Hitler in this area.
We're trying to find information out about German people.
You can put Hitler in a bunker, you can put him in a farm, you can put him in a hayloft. What matters is having known associates that can support his movement and protect him. We were very effective in doing that in catching bin Laden. We were able to track his informants and his couriers and how he was getting information out and getting information in.
The team receives a crucial lead. The name of Churata's oldest living German resident. A man who may have witnessed Nazi activity in the area 70 years ago.
Well, why is it buffering? What happened? Don't be a jerk. Come on. Hold on. Give me a second, guys.
No problem.
Dead air.
All right, cool. So, let's see. But there's like a lot of documentations out there and stuff about how the war ended and what could have possibly been after. I mean, the U.S. sent a whole armada to the North Pole because but you're not allowed to see that part of the North Pole if there's some kind of a bunker there or anything, some kind
You
of
can
base
live out
built.
there. You can live. You can survive that.
Yeah.
Well, it was reported that that the Germans actually even made it to the South Pole, and we actually sent the U.S. Navy down there to investigate.
Or was it South Pole? Yeah, it could have been that. Sorry.
Yeah, Santa's.
No, I mean it's. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the North Pole because they literally they made it everywhere. It's not a secret that they discounted nothing. They sent teams legitimately. They sent teams to look for it. What's up there, love it? Hello.
Hey.
They legitimately sent teams to look for the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, and like all these historical relics that were meant to have this intense power because they didn't discount anything. It's kind of wild.
No, but I mean, if you've seen the documentary Iron Sky, you know they're on the dark side of the moon.
I've never seen that. No, Iron Sky.
Yeah. It's a nice documentary.
Let me check this out. I'm gonna pull. I'll look at that while we continue.
Who may have witnessed Nazi
do that.
activity in the area 70 years ago.
Yep.
When you are looking at not just a cold case, but a frozen case, evidence is gone, people are dead. To have access to this living eyewitness, almost 70 years later, that's huge. We would like to ask him some questions about the history of the German community here.
Tiene una historia grande.
He's got a big story.
Estuve en la escuela, formar filas, todo eso, pero en la escuela.
Standing lines.
Fila de tres.
Drill, military drill. Okay. Were the teachers in the school supportive of the Nazis?
This scene is frightening.
Sí.
Yeah.
Did they fly the swastika flag at the school?
Sí.
Yes.
They did fly it. I have one more question. I want to push a little bit here. Was he part of the Hitler Youth?
¿Era parte de la juventud de Hitler?
I mean, at this point, there are like too many people around. I totally understand him not wanting to say anymore.
Well, I mean, it's, and they talk about this. Love it says about your girl needs to calm those flames down.
You don't like my lady?
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. He's extremely reserved.
I never even imagined that I would come and talk to people about something that occurred 70 years ago, and I would see anxiety, reservation, fear, but that's how it is.
Look, can't force him to tell us. Okay. We're done.
Break his
We
finger.
know-
No, I'm
yes,
just kidding.
There were Nazi sympathizers here. Thank you very much.
Don't listen to Ryan.
Yes, there were Nazi
Yeah, don't listen to
activities at the
me.
school. Is there ability in the area
be like
to
Ryan.
build a significant underground facility? We're about to find out.
This case is 70 years old. It's the biggest mystery of the 20th century.
With the release of 700 pages of
he ain't no
declassified
rat.
FBI files, CIA veteran Bob Baer and war crimes investigator John Sensich have reopened the case into the death of Adolf Hitler.
There's no decent forensics. All the witnesses are dead. There's no fingerprints, and the forensics we do have make it look as if Hitler got away.
If someone from Hitler's family came forward and tried to cash in on an insurance policy, no life insurance company in the world would have paid out.
The investigation has begun in Argentina, where 2 FBI files place Hitler in a bunker near a rural farm town 3.5 months after his alleged death.
Look at this, look at this. Hitler is in Argentina. He is living in a great underground establishment.
Tirata's our place.
Bob's team of investigators are looking into a German school in the same area, indicated in the FBI documents.
This is the older part of town.
Yo, this school's wild,
This
bro.
is the school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the look of it.
Look at this thing. You see the razor wire?
That place looks
Check
shady.
this place out.
It's a big school. Chain link fence, the 8-foot
prison.
wall.
It's hard to
Prison and
figure
a
out if
church.
it's to keep people in or out.
Exactly.
It was a fort.
Exactly. He's like, is the razor wire to keep people in or out? Like, yo, bro.
Both.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. That's supposed to be a school for kids.
Dang.
Well, teen boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
You build things particular ways and you build them in particular places for very specific reasons. And I immediately recognized that the similarities between this school and military bases are very, very, very close.
Big playground.
Yeah, I
You
love
probably
it.
have
That's scary.
100 people goose stepping across this lawn.
Here, boys aged 14 to 18 trained to be Nazi soldiers. They swore absolute and fanatical loyalty to the Fuhrer before being shipped off to fight. This area was just part of a worldwide Hitler Youth Army, made up of over 8 million boys from 52 different countries.
They're showing
They get a hold of these
teenage
kids
boys how to fire artillery.
Yep.
Yo.
And you have to remember, this is all happening before the war even ends.
Mhm.
They're already down there doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They said I believe they said something. They say something about that the school was founded in like 1938 or something like that. I think there's
The CCP is following the same pattern.
Oh, absolutely. I
training.
mean, absolutely. They actually teach kids in school how to dismantle and reassemble firearms. There's videos of it. That's not a
Probably
joke.
learn it on their TikTok.
Yeah, their TikTok is different than ours. I mean, I don't have TikTok. Well, I did at one point. Got rid of that crap, but it was just too much for my taste. But yeah,
They start indoctrinating them into the idea of how wonderful it is to be a Nazi. And it's something that's going on even to today, as ISIS is doing the exact same thing. Everyone here would have been honored to have Hitler come here and given their life to protect his hiding. This is a huge compound.
Wow,
this,
look
look
at
at this up
those.
It's very much an Argentine national symbol with the sun and the red hat, the joint hands, and then the colors of the Argentine flag, blue and white. Next to it, we've got a German eagle. This is a German school in Argentina. The German community's been here before the Nazis came to power. There was a big influx of Germans after the First World War. With the rise of the Nazi Party in the 1930s, you could be proud of being German again. And if you wanted to do well in your community, you became a Nazi. These people were sworn to die before they did anything that would damage the Fuhrer.
Buenos días.
Hola, buen día.
Buen día.
Mucho gusto. ¿Cómo les va? Mucho gusto. Tim. Hola.
Juan Alberto, ¿cómo le va?
The team meets up with Juan Alberto, who has spent decades unearthing German activity in this small farm town. His locally published book chronicles the little-talked-about Nazi presence in Chirata.
Y me gustaría mostrarles una fotografía de la colonia alemana con el nacional-socialismo.
Check this out.
So here's everybody doing the Hitler salute in front of this school. Man, it's crazy.
1935.
Any community?
Photo was from 1935.
Yep. So before 38 even.
Yeah, even before 38.
Got to prepare.
But damn, 35, they were on board early.
Oh, yeah. That was 10 years before the end of the war.
Yeah.
So they hadn't even invaded Poland yet.
Exactly. So they were just rising to power at that time.
That's craziness.
You say 8 million boys?
We're
training. I think he said 8 million.
Did they? I didn't catch that part. It was a lot. They were training them to basically be, cannon fodder. They knew what they were going to be doing.
Yep.
Communication from this community to other communities, German communities around.
Y a través de la embajada, me imagino que habrán instalado esa antena y tener el equipo de recepción. Les pegaban un mapa y bueno, a los alumnos les hacían el seguimiento de cómo se desarrollaba la guerra, ¿no? Marcando los puntos de avance. Había asociaciones germanas en todo el país, de alguna manera. Y esa, sí, la de...
So they were connected to the German embassy. They got a radio tower and an antenna so they could keep in constant communication with other German communities around the area.
Yep. Their school. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Why does the school need a radio tower? You know what I mean? That's just weird.
At least back then.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd still be pretty decently weird now. I got to be honest.
Unless it's a communications class.
50-foot radio. Well, I mean, because at the time, to be able to communicate around the world, you'd need like a 50-foot tower. Like you need something huge. Maybe a 100-foot tower.
Get around mountains and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, now it's obviously the technology has advanced a lot more with, but to have a giant communication tower at that time would have been massive. And they actually show one. A little, several later on. Not this episode, but
So big German community, tracking the war, communication with others, and the embassy.
At the height of the Third Reich, 60,000 Nazis lived in Argentina, creating a network of interconnected communities throughout South America. Some of these communities could have become sleeper cells, acting as a launch pad for an invasion of the Americas.
It'd be very easy to take Hitler, put him into this network, this spider web of a bunch of different communities, and he's gone. That's how Osama bin Laden was able to disappear.
The team worked their way through the rest of the school, searching for clues that could link this location to an underground bunker in the area.
Okay, let's look at the books.
This is all entirely in German.
See if you find anything that looks like Mein Kampf. Oh, look at this. Who was Carlos Buck?
Or those initials are on a whole bunch of books in here.
Carlos Buck?
Carlos Buck era un comerciante fuerte en Charata y es el que impulsó la última etapa de la escuela alemana.
Does he know anything about any underground structure, any hidden parts of the school?
En la escuela no. En 1970 se descubrió un sótano en una chacra al oeste de Charata, del radio urbano.
Okay.
Did he write about all that stuff?
It's mentioned in his book.
Cerca de una familia alemana. Descubrieron, vieron que había armas, había estandartes, había bibliografía.
There is a FBI memo that there was an underground bunker here. Now, this guy who is a historian, pretty darn credible one, who literally wrote the book on Germans in this town, tells us the exact same thing. All of a sudden, this is possibly not a wild goose chase.
And he can get us directions about how to find this farm.
¿Usted nos podría indicar cómo llegar a este lugar?
No.
We'll keep it confidential. We'll just show up there and
Van a mantener confidencial, dice.
tell him I've been a detective for 30 years. I've kept bigger secrets than this. 75 years later, people in this town are still afraid to give up information about the Germans. This guy who wrote the book on the German community seems like a pretty tough guy, not a guy who's going to be pushed around. Even he wants to go outside and tell me privately in a very low voice where this farm is and who owns the house. Where is the house? For the beginning of an investigation, and we're off to a running start.
70 years.
Look at this. Look at this. Hitler is in Argentina. He is.
70 years, and he got us like, oh, shh. Yeah.
You're welcome. Love it.
over
No,
there.
I appreciate you watching. I made her a moderator because they're like, oh, moderators make the chat safe. And I was like, well, Love It's always around. She's always watching Game of Thrones with us. So I made her a moderator.
Nice.
So,
But,
yeah, go ahead. Dude.
I can totally understand the people there being, we can't talk about it. I mean, it's same in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I actually just got a comment on one of my history videos, the difference between the swastikas and the origin of it. And this individual, since February is coming up, Black History episode would be interesting and awesome. I'll absolutely do that. Like on anything history related, I will cover from a historical context, because that's all this channel is. But so I will respond to that person. I will be doing that. Since I'm always lurking. Well, appreciate you lurking. Hey, I don't care if you lurk or what. Just like and subscribe. That's all that matters. If you enjoy it, if you don't, you can leave a comment telling me to go pound sand. That's cool too. I get some of those.
Living in a great underground establishment.
Recently declassified FBI documents that reference Argentina and place Adolf Hitler in a remote.
And that is literally why we're watching this.
Yeah.
Did Hitler make it out of Germany alive? And it's you'll see as we go through this, it leans extremely heavily towards yes.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Area have led a team of investigators to look into local reports of a nearby bunker.
This is a report that there was a farmhouse that was west of Chirata, used by Nazi supporters.
We have an FBI document that says the same thing. That's not a coincidence.
While Gerard combs through the archives for any reports of Nazis operating in Chirata, Tim, Steve, and their translator head deep into the countryside in search of the underground bunker.
Sorry, guys, I was responding to that individual.
This would have been way out of town. My entire career has been driven by this idea of mission first, mission first, mission first. Like it doesn't matter what the obstacles are, you're still going to complete your mission and you're still going to put mission first. And we're trying to investigate one of the most important historical occurrences that's ever happened. And we have an opportunity to maybe find some truth to that. And that's my mission.
Is this it?
This is it.
Oh, come on. What are you doing? Oh, that was weird. As soon as I panned away, it came back. Oh, no.
You hear the expression in the middle of nowhere? This was in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a clandestine activity.
Sometimes it's the streaming codec that I'm using. So sometimes some work better than others.
In the middle of nowhere. If you're looking for a clandestine activity.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. It's goofing on me again. Goofing again.
So,
I mean, what do you guys think so far? You like kind of you guys kind of want to recap real quick?
Clue?
I think when the evidence comes out that he
sorry
that he escaped and probably lived to an old age, I don't know if I could say it, but the small hat community is going to get hit the most as far as what the fuck.
Well, you mean the ones that he had a real shtick for. He wasn't the nicest man. He well, I mean, it's what you do to unite people, and you give them a common enemy, and it's gross. It's sick, and that's what he did.
You make them subhuman.
Mhm.
Well,
Your followers.
he took the what was already going around, because he wasn't the only one who thought that they were at fault for losing the war, and that they were, they were the people with the money, the banks. And yeah. So that's, I mean, he wasn't the lone person who
No.
was, but he took it and
He
ran with it.
yeah, he did. He took it and ran with it. And it's very unfortunate that that in today's world, because again, this is going to be a part of our history. We're seeing a resurgence of this over a different conflict, and it's very unfortunate. It's not how it should be. So, all right, let's see if this codec works better.
If you're looking for a clandestine activity for the Nazis in this area, man, this is the perfect location.
Yeah, it seems like this
Your
one might work
nearest
better.
neighbor is 5-10 miles away. I mean, they could have had artillery practice there and nobody would have known.
Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo le va? Mucho gusto, Leonardo.
When I did the Nazi war crimes investigations in Canada, one thing I learned is that each witness...
Canada.
You know how
This
close
dude-
that is?
This guy was so he's a prominent Nazi hunter, and he talks about the fact that he caught some like 170 after the fact in Canada.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Well, I mean, look how many we imported. The United
Oh
States.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And legally imported, right?
You said they came in through California?
The U.S. government brought them in, gave them new names. It's where we got Werner von Braun. You know, and obviously
Many others.
many others from Operation Paperclip. They left, they fled the Nazi party, and they came over here and ultimately gave us the atomic bomb, and that's how we just destroyed Japan, and they surrendered. And Germany was already losing, and so yeah, it's how we got our rockets, it's how we got our space program, and it's very controversial, and it's a little gross because a lot of these scientists were on the other side with no limitations. You know, get the job done however you can, and I'm sure they participated in that. We brought them here.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's many more that we, that
Just had no
never
idea.
were recorded.
Yeah.
And yeah.
History is messy business, and it's one reason I started this channel, is because a lot of people in today's world have forgotten what history is about, and have forgotten. And I think I'm eventually going to make a Rumble channel for this too. So when I upload to the one channel, it mirrors to Rumble too. I think it'd be a good place to have that as well. Love It says real quick, I mean, Argentina sounds like a nice place. Yeah. And Love It also says, we learned propaganda, rockets, science, and healthcare from their experience. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Some of our largest advancements in healthcare came from what Joseph Mengele was doing to the Jews.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. That's 1000%, because you wouldn't be able to learn these procedures without doing it on live or through immoral practice. Very, very immoral and disgusting practices.
That is the progressivism. You wouldn't get that in conservatism. You wouldn't have gotten all that medicine.
I mean,
progressive stuff came from Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, they were advancing the war machine. They were progressing the war machine as fast as they possibly could, and to beat out everybody, because whoever has the most advanced stick wins. And that's what they were. And I mean, they were murdering it. And you'll see through this, all 3 seasons, that just the crazy stuff that they were searching for, and they accomplished. They had the first fighter jet.
Yeah.
Fighter jet. Well, we were still flying around in P-51 Mustangs at fighter jets. Kathleen says there are still descendants of Nazi refugees families in Colombia. Yes, absolutely. And again, you will see how far spread through all of South America that how prominent they were.
Yep.
They used them in some cases like a source of cheap labor, and they disposed of them afterwards, as you find out. But I digress. I get a little ahead of myself.
Requires special handling. Even how you say hello sometimes affects whether the person talks to you or not. You own a very interesting piece of property. You can tell them the story that we heard was that there was a room or a basement that had been closed. And when they found it and opened it, there were all of these, items in there.
There's a basement here, but there's nothing.
They didn't find anything in it.
Usted no sabe si encontraron.
No.
They don't know anything about that. His dad bought the property in 1952.
Maybe his dad found it.
Yeah.
Imposible.
Imposible.
Porque era todo mercadería. Desde el primitivo habitante que
They were just goods.
almacén de ramos generales.
It was just a store, a general store.
Why would you have a store out in the middle of nowhere? You're miles and miles and miles from town, and you're just going to set up shop and start selling from there? Makes zero sense.
It makes no sense. You would be out of business in no time.
Location.
It wasn't a store; it was storage.
Yeah, exactly. Location. Love it says, I'll be watching, got daughter due. Absolutely, of course. Kids come first. But thank you for watching. Even if it's just in the background.
Yeah.
But hail to Love It as the new mod. The first official mod on Legion Pizza's history. We'll probably need her a little bit as this goes on, because you never know. Sometimes controversial topics and there are parts of history that are very controversial. Some people get rowdy. But anyway, yeah. Were you gonna say something, Cluu?
Oh no.
Oh, my bad. I thought for a second I cut you off, and I wanted to address that.
We're researching German activity. Was there a German community in this area?
No.
When you want to give credibility to an informant, you ask questions that you know the answer to. We know in the mid-20th century, the vast majority of the inhabitants of this area were German.
In this area, there was no big number of Germans.
No, he doesn't know anything about that.
They're lying.
70
of course.
years after the end
Yeah, they're lying, of course.
of the war. And these people today are terrified to tell us anything. Absolutely a wall of silence. But I know how to get witnesses to talk to me. So tell him that this is probably not the place we're looking for. They had the house and they had the store. Did they always know about the basement?
They kept all the drinks, especially the beer, because they was so hot here, and in the basement it was fresh.
Right.
It was cool. He can show us the basement if you want to.
Please, por favor. Please.
In the United States, we call them root cellars. It's a little tiny basement dug into the floor where you can store goods that you want to keep for a little bit longer. But local intel is telling us that this particular one is different.
That's the cellar.
Check this out.
Very interesting.
Look at that. Is it possible to look inside? This is very unusual in this part of Argentina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We pull the boards off. It's these stairs that are carved. You can't see the bottom.
Looks like a root cellar to anybody. Anybody's ever been in a root cellar? Does it look like one to you?
That looks like a cellar that I had here in Germany.
Basically.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, and I'm actually kind of glad that you're actually on this, because you obviously live in Germany, and you can give us a lot of needed information about kind of confirming a lot of what they're going to say. I lived there for only 3 years, but as I said earlier, you see remnants of the Third Reich everywhere. Like, Campbell Barracks in Heidelberg, Germany was USERA headquarters. Was actually a command post in the Nazis. You see, you had the German soldiers above it, and the clock tower, and at the front of the gates, you had the German eagles, and they were standing on swastikas, and they were the swastikas were drilled out, and they put they bolted the USERA plaque over it, but there's still those German birds were still there.
Yeah.
Are those bunkers supposed to be blast proof, bomb proof?
For
Most of them, yeah.
Yes, if it's in Germany itself, especially Berlin, yes. This one more
even
here
around
we find
here.
out.
Yeah, even around here, you know, where they mostly only had munitions they you know, you wouldn't want that stuff blowing up.
No, and obviously it's for munitions and stuff like that, but I mean, as you'll see with this one, it's very strange. I mean, it's got concrete walls. Concrete.
Yeah. And the thing about
You
this,
know what? This is terrifically well constructed. Look at the walls.
Go ahead.
you don't know if they, after the fact, if they walled up something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because
It could
you
have
know,
yeah.
it's all concrete. It looks the same.
Yeah, you would have never known.
Yeah.
There could be a whole section that of like a doorway or something that's missing.
Yep. Exactly.
It's crazy.
This is not packed dirt. This is actual, you know,
Are they still in Canada?
man-made walls.
Are they what?
Are they still in Canada, or are they back to Argentina?
Oh no, they they were never in Canada. He said that he had hunted that this individual had hunted Nazis that were actually in Canada. So that's wild. But no, they've been in Argentina this whole time. But they're literally out in the middle of nowhere. As he said, he's like, we're like 5-10 miles from the nearest neighbor. Like, and he's like, we're way out of town, you know, and it's a little far off the beaten path for a goods store.
A root cellar underneath a farm was going to be, you know, some shoddy mud type support with maybe some wood beams and a dirt floor. Couldn't have been further from the truth. The construction was very, very well made walls with brick and cement and gigantic thick overhead beams with tile on top of it.
Wait a second. Check this out. Holy moly.
Yeah,
Gotta get that air in there.
The bunkers that I've seen when we were in Baghdad, Iraq, have subterranean features that look very similar.
Love it says they should have assigned John Campia to this. He loves hunting. Those of you who don't know, John Campia is a fellow YouTuber, and he's a bit of a
Toby McGuire.
Yeah, he's a bit of an overreactionary. Calls a lot of people names for having opinions he doesn't like, and he probably wouldn't like this show. But yeah, it wouldn't be his speed.
To this site. This is actually well designed for ventilation. You always have to have two of them. You have to create a draft. That's what this side is right here. Very suspicious.
But
Storage cellars were
this is
common
why
in
I'm
South
saying
America.
that they could have walled something off, because that room doesn't look big enough that it warrants those air shafts.
No.
All right. Yeah. So that I just thought, and I'm kind of upset that they didn't like try to see if they could find something more. But I guess that, I mean, the owners were hesitant anyway, so
Yeah, they were super kind of weirded out, you could tell. They weren't really thrilled, but I think because they kept asking, they're like, oh, we'll just show you the cellar, right? And then, you know, you guys can make of it what you will. Then they probably figured, well, then they'll leave us alone. But yeah, the owners were very hesitant.
During the 1940s. But this underground room has been reinforced with concrete and contains a complex ventilation system. There are 2 separate air shafts, which allow for the circulation of clean, oxygen-rich air in through one end and dirty, oxygen-deficient air out through the other. This engineering could potentially allow people to live underground for months at a time. Innovations in underground construction flourished during the Third Reich. The Nazis perfected the use of reinforced concrete and completed hundreds of underground bunker projects throughout occupied Europe.
I gotta tell you, this is a hell of a little room here.
The FBI files, they clearly say a large underground bunker. A meeting place for hundreds of high-ranking Nazi officials in the area. So, is this the bunker from the files? Probably not. But could it be part of a larger network of moving German war fugitives in and out of Tirana? Absolutely.
Back in town, Steve and Tim meet up with Gerard, who's uncovered a huge clue.
I've been thinking as well, found what can only be described as a biblical listing of important Nazis in Argentina. This is from the military attaché, American US military attaché. It's come straight out of the German embassy files. The following list represents those, quote, good Nazis in the provinces who can always be depended on to contribute to various Nazi funds and to spread Nazi propaganda. We have here one of the most important Nazis in Chaco province, the man from the school, Carlos Buck.
There's a U.S. Army military intelligence document that tells us Carlos Buck, also known as Karl Buck, German national, very involved with the German school.
Changed our name, did we?
Yep.
That's a very, Carl with a K is it's just a little bit different than Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah, just slightly.
Definitely the German spelling.
Yeah, that's what if I actually studied German in high school. It's a very unique language, but I get the stigma behind it, because whenever you hear a mustache man doing a speech, it sounds very angry. he kind of ruined it for everybody, because if you hear it just normally spoken, it's really not that bad. But it is also kind of a stigma behind gosh darn it, what am I the Muslim speak? God, why am I Arabic? Yeah, Arabic. It's not an angry language, but when you hear the weirdos, when you hear the angry people speaking, it's like you're like, oh, that sounds really angry, like geez, but it's not. It's a very
speaking terrorist.
Yeah. It's you're speaking, basically they speak in an evil dialect, I guess is the best way to put it. They ruin it for everybody, but
I do like the memes though with the German language. There's a video out on YouTube where they go through different words in different languages, like butterfly, and then the Germans Schmetterling. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does get that stigma from mustache man.
Yep. And I actually think I told you this when we first met. It's a little bit funny. It's Germany is in German is called Deutschland. But when I first read it, I thought it said something else. And I thought it said, I said it in front of the whole entire class too, and my teacher's like, no. And I said doucheland, because that's what I thought how it was spelled. I wasn't being funny. I used to be able to speak German before I left high school. I could speak in full sentences, and I haven't touched it in 2 decades, and I can barely say it. I mean, I can still count German, 1, 2, 3, 4, but
I mean, you do have to know how many beers you order, right?
Yes.
but drinking beer helps.
Yeah. No, I'm still a huge fan of the Hefeweizen. It is still one of my favorites. So
I like the word Dusseldorf.
Yeah, I lived in I lived in Heidelberg. We drove to Mannheim all the time. When I first got there, we landed in Rhein-Main Air Force Base. I stayed there for a couple of days before I was shipped off to Heidelberg. Been all over the place, but basically I lived for the most part in the southern kind of western-ish. That's kind of where Heidelberg is. So Stuttgart.
I'm closer to Ramstein.
Yeah, I've never been to Ramstein Air Force Base. Been to Rhine-Main, but never Ramstein. We would always actually drive to Rhine-Main, and because they had the better PX, they had the big one. It was like the size of a Best Buy compared to ours. Because we had little concerns. It wasn't a large base. It was kind of spotted throughout. But anyway, no, I really liked it there. It's a shame that it's not as nice as it used to be.
Yeah.
So I really loved it there. I just love the history. Man, it's crazy. Anyway,
Is a known Nazi agent in Chirata, Argentina.
Carlos Buck owned property in the greater Chirata area, and specifically downtown. There could have been a basement or an underground area beneath Carlos Buck's property.
Okay.
The first things you have to look at, what support structures in place that could enable somebody and facilitate them to run and hide. We were very effective in doing that and catching bin Laden. Hitler could have been enabled here by Carlos Buck. I have a buddy that I was in the army with. He was in military intelligence while he was in the service, and now he works for a company that does ground penetrating radar. This thing can penetrate the ground up to 30 feet. Anything that's hidden underground, I mean, even bodies.
I mean, this really is the center of the local German activity. We got to go visit this place.
On your bunker.
Let's go take a look.
Recently declassified FBI files appear to have placed Hitler at a bunker in rural Argentina.
Check this out.
Here's everybody doing the Hitler salute in front of this school.
So the investigation team have narrowed their search towards prominent local Nazi, Carlos Buck. They believe his property could have housed the bunker mentioned in the FBI files.
That's an old house. This is a potentially critical piece of evidence. If there is, in fact...
hold on real quick. Did I miss the section where they actually show the tower? It's like a radio tower. I thought it was this one. Maybe I'm forgetting. Maybe I can't recall. Hold on. I just rewinded it real fast because I wanted to look. It's like they do like an overshot of it. No, I didn't miss it. Okay.
Old house. This is a potentially critical piece of evidence. If there is, in fact, a bunker on this property, a concealed room that was used by Adolf Hitler, it's a big deal.
Been a while, yeah. Just glad I got a hold of you.
Tim's old comrade from Iraq, David Kelly, arrives with
Yeah,
his
that's-
state-of-the-art
that-
ground
that's
penetrating
the scene.
technology.
The lawnmower.
Anything that you're looking for, we're going to be able to find. There it is.
Are we still on time?
But
I
before they
want
can
one.
investigate, they need to
I kinda
obtain
want one,
permission
too.
from the current owner.
I know, right?
Come on, get your ass in the vehicle.
There'll be a bunker around
Get
this
in.
house.
This is the first time in this investigation that may be within reach of actual testable evidence. But I can tell you that one slip, that's it. We're done here. All right, Leo, you need to say what I say in the same tone.
Yeah.
You need to generate the impression that I'm a serious guy. I've done this 1,000 times in 1,000 places.
I don't think he doubts that you're a serious guy.
Yeah.
Kind of has this look like, I'm going to do what you say because I'm afraid you're going to punch me.
Okay.
Trust me.
I trust you completely.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Right.
You're more like, I don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
Just you and me, Leo. Let's go.
See him? Negative.
I'm asking you for your help. This
Sure.
is a very important question of history.
Le pido su ayuda. Es una cuestión muy importante de historia.
Puesto caso que encuentren algo, ¿qué hacen?
With you, nothing.
Con usted nada.
So this guy just asked, knowing the history of his property, he just asked, if you find something, what will you do? And he said, with you, nothing.
Yep.
So this guy,
which is fair.
Go ahead.
No, that's fair. You know, you can't blame the people today for things that happened back then.
No, but it also goes to show you that there is every
scared.
person they have talked to this point, the elderly gentleman who seemed that he was actually a Hitler Youth.
Yep.
He refused to answer. He got paranoid. He became overwhelmed. You could see it in his face. The elderly couple that lived in the house with the basement.
Yeah.
Like, and now this
They didn't
guy.
want to, yeah. That's why I think it's good with this that they were only 2 people that went in. The
Yes.
guy who actually knows what he's doing and the translator.
Yep.
Because on every other instance, there were too many people, and Tim Kennedy, he kind of looks, yeah. He's
big dude.
intimidating. Yeah.
Big dude. And so I think that actually, as the show goes on, they learn from that a little bit more. They usually, a lot of times you'll see in the show later on that they actually split up. So they'll be like a team of 2 and it works better. But in the next episode, there's an individual that talks to somebody, and just one-on-one, this person completely refuses any questions and says, no, we're done with this. I don't want to address it at all. And we'll see that in the next episode, but
Yep.
Muchas gracias. Okay. Muchas gracias.
that's all I want to know. What will
Permission
you
from the
do?
owner of the property. The team head to the huge plot that was once owned by local.
There it is. There it is. Look at that giant radio tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell do you need a giant radio tower like that for a school?
Well, this isn't even the school.
It isn't even the school. This is the headmaster of the school, who is a prominent Nazi. But
yeah,
that's the Carl guy.
Yeah, Carlos Buck. Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. That's the shot I was looking for, because that's a big ass radio tower. That means you could broadcast around the world.
Yep.
Start rocking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Break them out, baby.
The lawnmower. It still cracks me up.
Find
man.
me something, man.
Yes, sir. I'll find it.
Yeah.
We're digging into a 70-year-old cold case using something that moves around like a lawn.
Lovett says, my dad has a 80-foot CB tower. He just wants to see how far he can reach. He's actually a radio tower that high will actually send radio frequencies out into space. Legit. There's actually, like, if you were to go far enough in space, if you did it fast enough at the speed of light, you could actually get to a point where radio transmissions from the 1940s, from the Nazis, you could actually hear them if you were there, because that radio wave is still moving through space.
That's
It's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
So if there are any and kind of ironically, it was after World War II, right? When supposedly, whether you believe it or not, they say that UFO activity spiked. Well, kind of the biggest bloodbath in history. I'm sure if there are intelligent beings out there and they heard these radio transmissions, they're going, what in the hell is going on with these people?
Yeah.
So, I love it. Of course, more power. That's a little home improvement for you. You don't know what that was. He has a talked across the pond. Well, I mean, we're talking to somebody across the pond right now. It's using a satellite, but
yeah.
I'll take what I can get. Okay.
It's really calm. But ground penetrating radar is a remarkable tool. Every step that you take, you get a snapshot of what's underneath your feet. It can see through 20, 30 feet of dirt and rock to see what's underneath it.
It's not nice.
This ground penetrating technology is so powerful that it's trusted by the American military to locate hidden explosives in life and death situations. The state-of-the-art equipment sends pulses of energy into the ground, measures the time it takes for that signal to return to the surface, and creates an image of what lies beneath.
Nothing really in this area over here. Just really consistent, really mellow, nothing happening. No bueno? Yeah, no bueno. I'll keep scanning through.
So far they're not really catching anything, and I'll actually just kind of jumped it a smidgen. It's right here,
Get to the cinder block.
and all of a sudden,
Ooh, look at that. Tim? Starting to get some busy matter going on here, some soil disturbance. This is where we have our most disturbance. But the problem is I can't go through the stockpile or get around it. So it's possible there's something here, and right as you're coming up to it, it's kind of
Yeah, if I could push you just a little bit further, we could see more and get a better understanding of what's going on below the surface.
Find me a bunker?
I'm actually finding areas of interest by the cinder block.
Yeah, you can see ends.
Yeah.
Great. We're surveying the property, and we find one little blip that looks like the beginning of an entrance. And 1 foot later are 5 tons of bricks just sitting there, covering whatever that little anomaly is the edge
Coincidence? I don't
of. And
think
we
so.
can't get to it.
What's up, R2? He says, why aren't they looking in Argentina? They will find him in a pile of cinder blocks. I was like, for half a second, I was like, what? Like, they're looking in Argentina, and I'm like, oh, there's the joke. They will never find him in a pile of cinder blocks. Yeah, the cinder blocks are little suspicious, right?
Just
happened to be in the area, the only area of the disturbance.
Yeah.
That's a pretty funny joke, man. I got to give you props for that one.
Okay.
The best approach for this is actually rolling right over top of it.
Is that an option?
You know what? It's not an off-the-shelf application or option, but I think at this point, we worked so hard to get in here, we should give anything a shot.
In my long military experience, you can have the best plan in the world, and once the first gunfire goes off, changes everything. And your ability to adapt is super important. That's no different here. We came to a roadblock, but ultimately, we have to be able to be flexible and execute regardless.
Let me try something.
David
Throw it
Kelly
up
adjusts the settings on the ground-penetrating radar.
Yep.
Now the device can look beyond the interference of the cement blocks and penetrate the ground beneath them.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to pick up activity.
Seriously?
Yeah, and that's definitely an area of interest down here.
In any investigation, there are very few moments that I know are going to be definitive. This is going to be one of them. This is kind of freaking me out.
So a little disturbance right here.
After further investigating the property with the radar.
Now, just real quick, well, we got a little bit of a lull, and we're actually coming. Well, we got about 4 minutes left. I put everybody's links in the descriptions on all platforms and all channels, but I put their links in the chat just so you can see. Obviously, all of Cluu's information is right here. So it's just it's there. So give everybody a subscribe if you can, and also head over to my actual history channel, where we will be, like I said, the first 3 episodes we'll probably do simulcast to Legion Talk, just to kind of, if anybody from that likes history and stuff like that. But I'll give everybody a shout out.
I think we're done. Hopefully we'll be able to find something.
Tim Kennedy uploads the data to Bob and John, who are back at base camp in LA.
From my experience using GPR in a number of different types of criminal investigations, when you look here, you see certain anomalies. You can see that the depth here is different.
Yeah, but what does that tell you? That depth?
That depth here tells me that something here is buried 8 to 10 feet below the surface of the ground. Something has happened with the soil. It's disturbed soil. Was it a place this underground facility could have been located? Yes.
If this were a Hollywood movie, we would dig up a bunker and we'd find Adolf Hitler in it. But it's not a movie. This is a real investigation. We did find a structure 8 to 10 feet underground. It very well could be the bunker that's noted in the FBI files. But this is private property. We're just not going to get permission to dig there.
We know for a fact that
Well, especially because the owner was already so hesitant as it is, of like, well, what will you do? It's like,
Yeah.
You're good, dude. You're good. Don't worry. Like, and he's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, then I guess, yeah. Like, he's super hesitant. Like, what's this about? What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
A community of people 70 years later, still terrified.
Yep.
Still terrified of these. And look, they weren't the nicest people ever, right? They were used to getting very much what they want or taking it by force. So it's like, you either comply. Look at what happened on Crystal Knocked.
Yeah.
So, and for many people who don't know what that is, Let's just say that there was a whole lot of ransacking going on and a whole lot of storming people's houses.
Look kind of like what was it? 2020? Was that when Summer
A
of
little bit.
Love?
A little bit.
Looked like a Summer of Love.
The Summer of Love. Well, I mean, look, and that's, R2 says no man that spoke German could ever be evil. Yeah.
Ah, ich verstehe. Mhm. Gut.
Mm.
Gut zu wissen.
See, that's how normal German sounds. It's different when certain people say it, and it just gives it a bad rap.
You have enough evidence and enough information to move this investigation forward. There are things that existed in Chirata that were also important. We had a Nazi community there, and there was a smaller underground facility. So really there was a network there which corroborates the information that was provided to the FBI in 1945. We need to look at something else to help justify the next steps in this case and really where we're going.
It may have been entirely possible that Hitler was in Chirata and then got up and moved several months later.
Right.
You cannot set up in one place indefinitely because eventually.
Uh-oh. We're still up on the History Channel. I might have put the Legion
yeah.
Talk.
Yep.
The Legion Talk channel is a little more prominent because we do so much Game of Thrones stuff.
Damn.
It happens. I was wondering how far we could honestly push it, and I was kind of testing the waters. So that is up on me. Let me take a look here. But
is it because of the video or?
Yeah, it's because of the video. Yeah, stream unavailable. I knew we'd eventually probably get tagged.
Or maybe the H word is said too much in the video.
Stream suspended for policy violations. I don't know what that. I'm assuming that means that. Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to use like you can only push it so far when you actually
Yeah.
Hold on. It's usually like 60 seconds or something like that. Let me check my email and see what it says.
Yeah.
Refreshing. Yeah, copyright notice. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's copyright notice. We get them on Game of Thrones and Star Trek Engage all the time. I just pushed it too far to see what the limit was, and I kind of did it on purpose. It kind of sucks. It's happening at the end. Hey, we're back.
Yep, we're back.
Okay, so yeah, it was a copyright claim, and so I was kind of pushing it to see how far we could kind of get away with from the History Channel. If it's Star Trek Engage, like we had it paused one time, but the screen was still on, and it was just paused sitting there, and we got taken down like that. And Samuel and I were both kind of shocked. We were like, "What?" So I was just kind of seeing how far I could push it. But we are back, so that's good. We are almost done, so we're gonna do mostly audio to the end, just to kind of avoid because once you get hit once, it's a lot easier to get hit the second time. It's like increases drastically, like by 70, 80, 90%, something crazy. So, all right. But yeah, we're back. So we're going to finish it. Here we go.
News will get out of your presence. You look at Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad. He was there too long. Now, if he had moved around, it would have made it virtually impossible for the Central Intelligence Agency to catch him. That's what we have to consider here.
So they're going to have to get to another German community, another Nazi-supported community.
But where would you go?
Well, love it. We actually only have a few minutes left. Literally, like 2 or 3.
Well, wait a minute. Let me check on something here.
To help further the investigation, John turns to the 700 pages of declassified FBI files.
All right. The Nazis in Misiones are reported to control a system of roadways known only to them.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Chirata, Misiones. Did they have a underground network that they could move people along this?
Oh.
Hit again?
No. I think it's buffering. Oh no, this happens sometimes too when you sail the high seas, ladies and gents. Sometimes it just freezes on you. So let me reset that. It'll go exactly back to the place we were though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what we're going to be seeing in this next episode, that's also pretty damn cool. They're going to be showing it here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Could move people along this.
Reports of clandestine travel routes that connect Chirata to Misiones reveal a new potential location for
Yeah, it's not liking you now, huh?
All of a sudden, we hit a weird.
their fugitive, Adolf Hitler.
7 hours, that's nothing. 600 kilometers?
That's not that far at all.
Probably a dirt road, unpoliced. Hitler out of uniform.
Congratulations, R2. You're now a moderator. Of course, you've been a moderator in my other chat for forever. So you are on
It's
the
been in
History
news
Channel
very
now.
recently on Misiones that there are archaeologists that have found numerous artifacts related to Nazis.
Deep in Argentina's northern jungle, researchers have found items dating back to Germany.
Fabricado en Alemania. Porcelain yang bertuliskan made in Germany.
In among the lush vegetation, the ruins of a house-like structure may have been at one time a Nazi safe haven.
They found German pottery. They found structures and other artifacts. They're anomalous. They shouldn't be there. Why are they in the middle of this jungle?
Right now, there's an archaeological dig at Misiones unearthing Nazi artifacts. They're digging up evidence that was not available in 1945. Was it possible Hitler could have gone there?
This is the place where we should be sending the team.
Got to do it now.
Let's do it.
How does somebody live out here? There could have been Nazis here. We know that. That means that there's a chance Hitler could have come here. This investigation, it's red hot right now. It could be completely blown open.
Coming up on Hunting Hitler.
That's a swastika.
In order to get at the truth, you've got to hit the ground.
Holy crap. Hey, whoa.
We have to run this evidence down. We are the ones that are finally going to do it because no one has.
Not much air in here, guys.
We're going to look for submarines or we're going to look for airplanes.
Holy crap. It might be the frame of the fuselage.
There's going to be no easy answers. You got to talk to the right people.
Hitler was here.
He said so.
And you have to ask the right questions.
Is he telling me there was an Enigma machine at his grandfather's place?
It's the only way you can get to the answers.
We came looking for the footprints of Adolf Hitler through Spain, and I think we found them.
Hitler had a whole city to himself down here, and nobody knew about it. Hitler could have escaped Germany, but right now I feel like I'm right behind him.
Once you actually get into the grass and you start looking at the evidence,
All right, stop right there, George. What's that?
things are always more complicated.
Guys, let's get the hell out of here.
And the more blowback you get, the closer you are to the truth.
Okay, Vayed.
Yeah. There we go. We've got something man-made.
This could be a U-boat. We're going to walk away from this
What the hell is that?
with answers we've never had before.
Is that a swastika?
This is the end of the story. I'm going to stop at nothing, find out what really happened to Hitler. Period.
I think we got it.
And that does it for the first episode.
Yep.
Got a
This
lot of
next
stuff.
epised is awesome.
It is. I've already actually watched it today. Of course, it's probably like the third or fourth time I've watched the whole series. I think it's gonna be like the fourth. That's how much I really enjoy it. And I pick up new things that I'd previously forgotten, right? And
Yeah.
so, no, it's awesome. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And as I said, everybody's links are in the description on all the platforms, including Rumble, which is now which we can now actually stream directly to Rumble, which is awesome. Thank you, StreamYard, for that. Let's maybe work on some of that audio issues with the microphone. See you, love it. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by.
Yeah, R2 says, yeah, seriously, thanks for everybody for stopping by. Do the looking for Hitler folks ever run into the people searching for Bigfoot? I don't know.
Same people?
I don't know. So, Clue, what do you got coming up there, sir? Anything fun on the YouTube?
Doing pre-records now because one pre-record I did got 3K views and another one did 1.6K. I've never seen numbers like that, so I'm trying to figure out the formula.
Good, man. Good. Keep pumping it out, dude. Consistency.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. And Mr. Clifton 3D.
Yeah, tomorrow, I believe 5 Central. I hate time zones.
See you, buddy.
Second stream. Not sure entirely in which channel yet, but we're figuring it out. So I'll definitely let everyone know. That's fun. Yeah.
Now you're just spreading misinformation. Nishan is a good guy and a great friend. I do okay. I do the best I can. We're all people, right? I try to take care of all my friends. All these guys that I stream with. It's a lot of fun. They make it the most fun. It's kind of why I wanted to bring a group together to review this, because we get different perspectives. It's not just me talking about something that might be a little bit of a crusty history topic. I try to make it as fun as possible, and especially on a live stream, you have to be. Hold on. Kathleen says, I enjoyed the streams. Thanks. See you soon. Yeah, see you, Kathleen. We will be live next Sunday for roughly the same time. If there's an updated time, I'll let everybody know.
See you,
R2. R2 just says, keep any buckets away from him. Yeah. You have an emergency once, and you're labeled forever. With that being said, speaking of, if you want to find out more about the bucket, it's a prominent joke on my channel Legion Talk where we cover pop culture. We have a stream in about hour 45 minutes. Star Trek Engage. We are reviewing The Devil in the Dark, I believe it is. It's season 1, episode 25 of the original series. There is a lot of inappropriate jokes. It's a bunch of dudes getting together, kind of like having just a good time. It's a lot more inappropriate and intense than this was. Obviously, we kept it pretty tame. It's kind of hard to be too inappropriate with history. History is usually inappropriate all on its own.
Yeah, you don't need help. It does not need help, especially this topic.
And then of course tomorrow night, Game of Thrones. I'm not sure what episode we're on, but we're going to be reviewing Game of Thrones and on Legion Talk. And then of course Friday night's Royal Rumble on Fridays. And usually I'll actually be on Beelzehub. It's my friend's channel. We're doing for Get Ranked. I'm filling in for Samuel because he is ill. He's not feeling well. Apparently he has the plague. And so I'm taking his spot. And I believe we are reviewing 80s cartoons from basically our childhood. We're gonna be ranking those. So, it'll be a lot of fun because obviously I grew up in the 80s. So, and television in the 80s and the 90s was just so different. It was just so much better. Yeah.
Sure.
So with that being said, shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody who watched, and also everybody who's going to be watching the replay. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You guys are the best. And we will see you guys next time. And I'm going to play this. See you.
Peace.
Take care.
There's not sufficient evidence that Hitler died in the bunker on April 30th, 1945.
Could Adolf Hitler have gotten out of Berlin, and how did he do it?
How did he enter Argentina?
We're going to look at who could facilitate hiding Hitler.
We need to take this out of the realm of hearsay and see what sort of technology we can bring. There are thousands of leads.
It could completely change history.